I'm Branch with Korbin's Archery. Today I want to talk about some of my favorite drills and training exercises that I use. Sometimes it can be hard to find the time and space to shoot a bunch, get a lot of practice in, especially with hunting season coming up. There's going to be some of my favorite things to do to increase my strength, to increase my hold time, just to overall become a better and more effective archer and hunter. So let's dive right into it. So a lot of these drills will focus today on either not even having to shoot your bow, not even having to have a lot of space, just 10 yards, less than that. A lot of these are going to focus building the strength, building the aiming capabilities so you can hold the bow longer, aim a little bit better, build these muscles so you're a little sturdier, and also work on shot and execution or repetition. So first up, what I like to do, these are going to be called aiming drills. These are going to be really easy. If you don't necessarily want to shoot, you can do 5 minutes of this and get a really good workout in. So basically what this is you'll set a timer on your phone for 35-40 seconds, get a target really close with something like a roofer's nail, something small. You're going to draw back, set your timer, or set your timer first and then draw back, get set, and then put your pin on that roofer's nail, and you want to keep that roofer's nail in your pin in the roofer's nail for 30 seconds. So if you can do that, then you want to back that target up. Hopefully you can get out to 20 yards and keep your pin in a roofer's nail or something, 15 yards where you can hold that. So what that's going to do is that's going to build your strength holding. So if you can sit there and hold for 30 seconds while aiming, then if you get into a hunting scenario where you can kind of relax and bring these shoulders, let that head rest a little bit, you can probably get up to 45 to a minute. So that's going to really increase that strength. It's something easy. Like I said, you can do 3 or 4 rounds of this a day, trying to keep that pin in there, and it'll really increase the stability and strength. And I'll demonstrate all these in a second. Maybe about to pour on me in August, in the middle of August. It's nice and cool, so I'm enjoying that. But I'm going to go through these, and then we'll go through I'll show the drills shooting into there. Next one is going to be blank baling. This is really great for getting a ton of reps in super duper fast. So you can grab 5 arrows, get up to a target at 3-4 yards. You're just going to draw back and shoot. So first, it's going to build the endurance. You're building a lot of shots, being able to draw that bow back a bunch. This is great if you don't have a lot of space, so you can't set your target up at 20 yards. And this is really awesome for building shot execution. So what I do when I'm blank baling, I'm really focusing on form, especially my release execution. So I'm getting back, I'm setting, I'm really focusing on feeling that break. I'm not necessarily worried about aiming. I just want to feel a good solid break, make sure my form is correct, and work on that. So like I said, 4 yards. When you put the aiming drills and blank baling in together, it's a really strong combo, because with the aiming drills, you're building that stability in terms of aiming, being able to focus on what you're wanting to hit. When you're doing the blank baling, you're focusing on shot execution. So it's kind of taking those two separately, so that way when you come back to work on them in an actual shooting session, you've worked on those individually, and you can kind of mesh those a little bit more consistently, more accurately. Also, shooting through paper is a great way to work on form. Set up a paper target or a paper tuner with a target behind it. You only need about 6-7 yards for that, and just sit there and shoot. If you can shoot the same tear 10 times in a row, that means you're consistent. If you're having different tears, left, right, up, down, they're not quite as clean one way or the other, that means there's some form work that we can do. I'll do paper tuning, a lot of paper tuning, just to work on form. So just sit there shooting through paper. It's an easy way to see if your form is consistent. And same thing, you're working on shot execution or release. It's just kind of an upgraded version of blank baling, in my opinion. You can just see the results of if that was a good shot or not. And then finally, if you don't have anywhere to shoot, you don't have any space to shoot, finding a shot trainer, something that you can, just a string that you can sit there and work on shot execution, that's a very helpful tip. Really works well. Just something simple, rope, drop back, work on the execution. That's what I did, especially when you're starting with a new release, such as like a hinge or a thumb button that you want to get used to. Spend a lot of time on a shot trainer, just working that. And then go into your blank baling and aiming drills, and that's a really good starting point for learning a new release, or just kind of getting back into the flow of shooting. Now, those were kind of more for limited space, limited time. Now I'll kind of go into some of my other favorite drills. I know you hunters may not like to hear it, but a 3-spot target or a 5-spot target is going to be super duper helpful. What this does, it builds the consistency. It builds a baseline of your shooting capabilities and lets you see as you get better and better. So if you can sit there and keep it in the yellow at 20 yards on a 3-spot, you're pretty consistent. So it helps you to learn if you're getting better. What you're doing is improving. It's really going to build a consistency because you got to do the same thing every time to have the same impact downrange. So a 3-spot target, a 5-spot target, dang, I'm going to get poured on. I got my son's basketball goal blowing over here. But a 3-spot target, 5-spot target is super duper helpful. You can get 30 arrows in really quick on a 3-spot target. Shoot 3 arrows. That's just 10 rounds back and forth. You only need about 20 yards, and you're going to improve really quickly. Another thing, shooting broadheads. Broadheads are going to be less forgiving than your field tips. So if you can shoot a broadhead a bunch, it's going to really show that your flaws and inconsistencies. If you can't group really well with a broadhead, but you can group well with a field tip, it's probably something more with form and consistencies. So shoot your broadheads. It's just going to make sure that you know your equipment, you understand if it's on or off. It's just a really good tool. Now, I also like to shoot really far as I can shoot. Now, this isn't necessarily, some people may not be able to get out really far and find places, but if you can, shooting far is going to maximize your accuracy and consistency, making sure that you get set correctly, making sure all your anchor points are proper, and if anything is off, you'll see it downrange. So the further out you can go, you have to really focus on being consistent and accurate. Okay, so I'll show you all some of those drills. We'll start with the aiming drills. Blank baling, this is my little setup. I've got it stacked on my wife's Christmas stuff. So for now, I'll just use this. This is just going to be a target pin. What I'll do is I'll set up about 5 yards or so back, and I'm just going to aim, try and keep my pin in the middle. Okay, so for this drill, I'm just going to draw back. I'm going to keep my finger off the trigger, and all I'm going to do is put my pin in the middle of that target pin that we got on the target. And I would set a timer for 30 seconds. I'll just sit here and hold for a while. Okay, I don't know how long that was, but I felt like I held for a while. Did a pretty good job of holding on that, so I'd step it back a few more yards and just do the same thing. Give yourself a little break. And just work that until you can work back. Like I said, it's going to build that strength and stability. So next up is blank baling. You can get pretty close. You just need enough room for that arrow to get completely out of the bow. But you're just going to sit here, draw back, get anchored, and just work on your shot execution. So you're not focused on aiming at anything. You just want to put your pin somewhere in the middle of the target and work your release. So you can grab 5 arrows. For this video, I'll just do 3, but you'll draw back. Focus on getting anchored, and then start working that release. You can really kind of feel, you can work on the feel of everything, making sure you put your hand in the right spot, how much pressure you can put on your barrel or how much pressure you need to put when executing your hinge. Just a really good drill. You can work on shot at timing, figuring out if you need to go faster or slower with your release. But overall, you can get a lot of reps really quick. If you had 5 arrows, you shoot those. In 5 rounds, you've got 25 arrows in for the day. You've built up a lot of strength, endurance, and made some really good shots. Not having to worry about where you're hitting, just on form and repeatability. So there you have it. Some of my favorite drills and exercises for limited space, limited time. You can blank bail. You can do some aiming drills. If you want to do like an upgraded blank bail, you can shoot through paper to see how those tears are coming out. If you do have some time, I really like to shoot my broadheads a bunch and shoot as far as I can. Shoot a Vegas round, three spot round. All those things put into one is going to be a great training routine But like I said, I know it can get hectic and busy, so just find what works for you, the training sessions that work for you, and focus on something. Don't just go out and shoot blindly. Make sure you're working on something to get better. So if y'all found this video to be helpful, let us know by giving a like and subscribe. Drop a comment below on some of y'all's favorite training exercises that y'all do, and thanks for watching.